Hey guys, so today we are going to compare TypeScript and Go, so let's get into it. Now, TypeScript, for those of you who may not know it, is it is a language in its own standing, which transpiles down to JavaScript. And the idea behind TypeScript is, well, pretty much to add a typing system to JavaScript, so you can reap those benefits. There's not really much more to say about it. And then we have Go, or Golang, which is a programming language provided to us by Google, while TypeScript is maintained by Microsoft. And Golang is, well, virtually let's just call it a language that is highly, it's typed, highly performant. You can do parallel processing, which is absolutely great. Well, apart from that, it's very closely, it's very similar to most of the web framework or the web languages that you will find. It's very good at doing services like network services, like web applications, stuff of this nature. But it can be used for quite a lot of things, other things as well. One of the biggest projects, and it probably is the biggest project built in Go, is Kubernetes. So it's not just for web work, but it's very good at that sort of thing to start off with. Now, if we compare these two, the thing about Go, which I think is pretty awesome, if I may say so myself, like I don't work on Kubernetes, and I don't think a lot of people use. Well, there are people who use Go for other purposes, but I would say that the majority of us use it for web services, APIs, that sort of thing. And what I love about that is that the language is actually very small. There's not, like, you have the typing system, and you have the ability to do asynchronous work, or parallel work as well. And you can get started fairly quickly. And it's one of the first things I thought when I put up my first web service using Go was that this is very similar to the sort of convenience that I felt I had in Node.js, like when I was working there, because that's also something where, it's a very minimalistic, like JavaScript is a very small language, Go is a very small language, but it has the things that I need in order to do my job. And I think that's a very underestimated benefit, because the thing is that today, what you know today is going to change tomorrow. And having a language with too much stuff is just, in my opinion, an extra hassle. Like, there's just more to learn. And unless these extra 80% are things that are useful, and for the most part they're not, at least not to me personally, and of course it differs from person to person, but in general I like things to be small and concise, because the less there is, the less things can go wrong, and the faster you can get productive. And Go fills these criteria absolutely beautifully. It is, I would say that if it wasn't because of the legacy that Java has, where there's quite a large industry around that language, Go would probably be it would be a stronger choice. I would personally argue. Not saying that it is today, because there are issues with Go as well, and actually the two main issues are that it's fairly early stage still. It's not immature. You can absolutely use it for production usage, and people are using it, but they don't have the same sort of ecosystem as the bigger, more mature languages like Java and C# have. And the fact of the matter is that the requirement for jobs is, well, it's almost non-existent. If you're going to Go, you should know that odds are that you will have to look a little bit or move around a little bit to actually be able to do it professionally. Because even though the internet is very hyped about Go, the industry is not. And I don't see, the thing is, that's the thing about Go. The thing is that I don't see that changing. I cannot perceive a way for Go to, based on what it offers today, to become this mega success in the industry and become the next Java, or something that even rivals that size. It may happen, I just can't see it today, because the thing is, the selling points of Go although they are awesome and perfect for a greenfield project, they're not strong enough for most companies to warrant a migration. That's the thing. And a lot of people want to talk to me about like Uber making the migration from Node over to Go, but I keep on saying that, yeah, but Uber is a super massive company using microservices, and they didn't migrate the whole code base. They migrated some stuff. They still have things running on Java, Python, and Node. So yeah, but that's just my gut feeling. I'm just saying that I think it's going to be a little bit hard for them. And then you have TypeScript, which has the best parts about TypeScript is that it's a typing system for JavaScript, and depending on your how you feel about JavaScript, it is an awesome thing or it's a horrible thing. I'm just going to stick with the awesome part because I do think it's awesome, and I think that people who still hate on JavaScript it's the world's most popular programming language, and it's used by literally every single web project that has a user-facing interface. I think we can pass that. Let's just agree that it's a very popular programming language, regardless of if it's good or bad. And that's what's beautiful with TypeScript, because TypeScript adds one of the last pieces that JavaScript needs, in my opinion, to become the universal language. My personal, the typing system is a very important thing to have when you want to do large-scale application development. With really large code bases, types become extremely important, because without them, it's very hard for you to change the code with confidence, because you may break something without even knowing it. Types helps a lot with figuring out if you did that, and it's also very helpful for you to declare types which are contain certain rules. Like, say for example that you declare a type that says that, hey, this input is going to be an email. Then you can actually validate within the entire system that that piece of information, that data, is an email. But if you just have a string, you have to do that manually, or have to remember all the places where this is actually an email, this string value. So that's really, really useful. And with TypeScript, I believe personally that technologies like Node and JavaScript has the potential to become the de facto standard. I do believe that TypeScript can give Node the potential to beat Java as an enterprise language. JavaScript is the world's most popular programming language because it's the browser's language. That's why everybody uses it. But I think we can go even further. I think that TypeScript could make Node.js development a really mainstream thing, that it becomes this de facto standard for most forms of enterprise application development, because that's the thing it's lacking. And being able to make accurate money calculations, but that's in the works and part of the standard, that's not part of TypeScript. So when it comes to comparing TypeScript versus Go, for job purposes, I think that TypeScript is a better choice, not because of server work, but rather because TypeScript is very popular even today. Like, it's used in quite a few front-end projects. It's used by almost all your favorite libraries, like pretty much all of them, Angular, React, like all these things use TypeScript. You have support for it. And I can only speak from experience. It's very useful to have types when you work on large systems. So that's how I feel about it. If you're building a server or something like that, and you need like extreme performance of something like that, then Go is probably a better choice as of today. But for most forms of, for most cases, like for job purposes, TypeScript is still probably a better option to invest in. Have a great day.